Hi there and welcome to my channel. This is Kate in the Journal Nest in Australia saying I'm so glad that you are with me. Welcome to an update on my slow stitching. I've been away and I took some pieces with me, and these belong to the Journal of Stitchery Field Notes series. Nothing very specific in terms of wording, but we're starting to work on the the main themes, and I'm getting better at refining what I want to do. So if you want to hear more and join me as I slow stitch, please stay tuned. I hope that you are well. It is absolutely freezing cold here, so there is no better thing to be doing for me than coming down to my nest and talking to you and doing some stitching. I've got a bit of a messy thread here. I've got some threads in nests ready to go. The first thing I wanted to take you through was, we'll do a small piece first. This is my I've got mixed up. I think Rachel calls it an accordion journal and someone else was calling it a concertina. It doesn't matter, it's just so much fun. So I was searching for a piece that I bought in California, and I found it now, so here it is. I worked on this piece actually in the airport and on the plane coming home, so it's got quite a lot of additional things as well as some frayed edges. So this is, I'm going to put it down a little and then come up. So this is, I suppose, is my spring theme page. I haven't yet got into the spring bulbs. I did have a stem there that fell off, and I'm leaving it off for the moment because I'm embellishing here, and I'm thinking that this page over here might be my spring bulbs. Not sure, because I think this fabric all the way through could be my spring prompts, and then whatever comes next, I might do something different. So that's the evolving story. Now, what have I done? I have, first time for me, I have been working some of these stems on the leaves with different colors. I really enjoyed doing that. I have done some French knots on the wattle. I tried doing a little bit more embellishment down here and didn't like that, so stopped. I had so much fun. These still have to have their centers on, but I'm loving the blue and the raised part of these flowers. Here's my chain daisies with variegated. I've been getting a bit bolder and starting to free stitch with some colonial knots up there, and as I said, I'm really liking that sort of work. So I had thought that we might get straight into stitching. I've got a sneeze coming, which means of course I'm back in my nest. I don't think I sneezed when I was filming over there, but I'm sure you'll understand that. So I want to put one of these little Suffolk puffs. Remember, this piece is sort of open, and I thought, yeah, I like this as a sort of as a bloom, if you like, and it can be the link down to there. So let's get into it. I want to say a huge thank you for your support, and the welcome home wishes is just so wonderful. I had some lunch with some friends today, and I said, you know, the wonderful thing of this new world is that I wake up every morning to lovely comments from my YouTube friends and receive them all day long, and absolutely know that we are united in our love of making. And I think in particular this project, thank you Sarah and Rachel, has really inspired so many of us, and I think it's a perfect choice because those of us who are in winter right now are really enjoying the feeling of stitching spring flowers, and those of you who are in summer might be you know, again, thinking it's very hot where you are and reminiscing on maybe the cooler temperatures of springtime. So I'm actually here, I'm just going around it with visible over, I don't know what that's called. I do know, but I've gone blank. My jet lag's getting better, so it's later in the day and I'm feeling more awake rather than sleepy weepy. Overstitching, because I love this pink. You know how much I love it, and I think against the orange it's standing out beautifully. And I'm going to share with you my bigger works as well. Oh, and I meant to bring down some of my ideas for my crochet flowers, but I will be catching up with my videos, so expect a slow stitch 1, crochet 2, and a very specific one as well as slow stitching, and more progress on spring bulbs, I think. And I'm also loving doing some journaling at the moment as well, so it's like put work into the not into the past because I've still got things to do, but I can actually focus again for a little while on my making. Now, a few people have been asking about Zoe's scissors, the little ones that I managed to travel with, and can revolutionize, a game changer if you want to slow stitch on the plane. So I spoke to Zoe about it, and she's going to send me a link to her website. And speaking of Zoe, she's a wonderful, wonderful person who has bought us the Green Door Studios at Robertson. And next week I get to be out there for 3, well, it's 2.5 days, but I'm going to call it 3. And you'll hear more about that in the coming days, and I'll certainly be sharing what we're up to. But that is a dream come true, that I can come home in time to get over my jet lag, catch up with friends and family, and then be out at the studio stitching. So we're just nearly here around this now. I will go all the way around. I was tempted now to go down that stem, and I probably will, but let's finish this off. Might do some French knots on these wattles. And as I said, I have been watching so many of us working on volume 6, and it is so absolutely joyful, isn't it, to know that we've all had the same prompts, but they're coming out so differently. I better just check that I turned that on. Yep. Okay, you can see that. All right, so down here is a wattle puff, and they come out in springtime. I've probably told you that before in Australia. So 2, 3. Let's do some French knots here. That was in a pearl cotton. This is in the 4-ply wool. So there'll be a different texture. Okay, it's getting a bit rough there, sorry. There we are. I can hear some sounds out in the main room, so it means my husband is home from work, which means I won't make a long one. And it is getting dark as well here. Oh gosh. I suppose this is the only challenge with the wool and the French knots and Kate's haste. Because I get myself in all sorts of knots. Most times they come out. The jury's out on whether this one will. Oh my goodness. Sorry everyone. Has this ever happened to you? I'm just going to pull and we'll see. That might be a bad mistake. Oh no, see? Not quite through, but close enough. You know what I've learned to do is, that happens, I come and make another one. And then I catch that big loop down and it ends up blending in. So let's go up here into that. Oh, missed it. Into that big loop there, and we'll go down again. See, it looks like it was always meant to be there. And let's do another one over here. And down there. So there we are. What have we done so far? A little bit of sunshine, I hope, in your day. We've added this Suffolk puff and yo-yo, using it as a flower, and we've added some more French knots to this garden of wattle. And over this side we've got some blues, and I'll balance this top out with some blues as well. But I'm feeling excited about the way that that garden is emerging. So that's my spring theme in the accordion. So I am going to do an unusual thing for Kate and not stitch till that thread is run out, because I want to show you my big field notes. I'm also doing a journal series, and again, thank you to all of you who've already got back to me. So I'm doing a paper set of field notes and loving that. All right, so I took 3 of my big quilt panels away with me. So I thought I'd show you what's developing. So last time there wouldn't have been any of this, but this is the piece that began as just this plain tablecloth. So it had the roses, you might remember, and I haven't done a separate playlist for this, but maybe I'll end up doing that. So I've worked the corners, and I'm hopeful, if I remember right, I've nearly joined, yeah, all the corners together. So it's a multi-directional garden, and this is the 4th side. Okay, so I've still got some, I was working on blue here because I think on the diagonal I've got this blue. I don't think you'll ever be able, unless I get very clever and I can move it up. I won't do that this afternoon. More work in here, but that's one of the panels. So I should call that roses. Okay, so that's that one. Oh, and see, I'm starting to do this more, and that's my aim with all of these flowers. Is it called thread painting over the top, so you can change the colour with the variegation. So that's that one. So that's tablecloth. I've decided that each day I'm going to work on a different panel and start 3 new ones this week. So this is the very bold tablecloth. I haven't done a lot on this one, but I've added a few little bits of fabric. I've worked on this corner up here. Oh, and in here, yes, I had some fun. I like this actually. Lots of different little appliques and starting to stitch and embroider over the top. So that's, in fact, they're all tablecloths. I'll call that other one roses. This one is, who knows? You don't, it's not a worry about the name. That's my brain going off at a tangent. This one is Beck's tablecloth that I got from the Craft and Quilt Fair. And if you remember, it's totally cream and it just had these motifs in each of the corners. So this one, actually now I'm stuck on my ring. So here's the other corner. So I've really started to embellish and add things. So that's, if I go slowly without making you dizzy, that's one side. Here's the opposite side. I hope you're getting the idea of what I'm trying to do. Build and grow the garden. Here's another side. So it has got quite a bit of work on it now. Still things to stitch down. That pin's coming out, so I will stop that there. But I'm really having fun. So lots of little other embroideries and then starting to go over the top. So there's some randoms, lots of threads everywhere. And this piece is particularly bright. This is diagonal to the other one, and I put this huge rose there. So that is piece number, or block 3, if you like. It's got the pineapples on it. Not very good at folding. There we are. Just always like a garden to be showing. So the thing that we're going to start today is block number 4. And again, this is a tablecloth that I bought from Beck at the Sydney Craft and Quilt Show, and it's absolutely beautiful. And it's on linen, and this to me sums up spring and where we're up to. It's got these nice little pieces, so I'm going to start today with some ideas that could be used on here. So these are all harvested Oppen Vintage Shop pieces that are being given a life. Got these little tulips that I like, and I think I showed you this piece, I can't remember. It's got some stains on it, but it is beautiful. And in fact, right now, I'm thinking that that would be a beautiful center. So I'll use every bit of this. So again, I think by now we know on this, in these challenges, prompts, volumes, and slow stitching, that many of us love to upcycle and give new life to pieces that we found. So this is a beautiful spray of mixed flowers, and I think it belongs in a happy place with all these other flowers. I suppose with this one, the thing that stands out for me is red. I don't use that very often. There's a lot in the very bright tablecloth. Quilt block. So I'm going to sneeze again. Excuse me. Oh, goodness. So I'm thinking, could I squeeze? No, I couldn't. I'm going to sacrifice this bow. It will not be not used, but I think I could put it in a corner or something like that, and it would relate back to this piece. Yep. So what about that? Yep. I just realised I sort of said, what about that? And then answered it immediately. Let's go around this flower here. Get rid of these sharp bits. There we go. Yeah, so it's like a bouquet lying down at this point. I don't think I want to cover those red, no. We have to accept. And there's these two small bits. And then that's a different piece. What shall we do? Let's do some stitching. Let's put this on. But I am thinking that I'll just invisible stitch it on at this point. Oh, that doesn't feel like it's got an end. Not sure. So if you're just tuning in, I've been inspired to do a huge hand-worked quilt after seeing Nautica at the Craft and Quilt show, and so that's what I'm very much heading towards. So 9 blocks, and each one of them a garden, and then stitch them together and then start to embellish all over the top, and that will have crocheted flowers for sure. And I have loved hearing from quilters. As I said, my mum isn't, I must do that actually. I was quilting this morning I was slow stitching under one of her quilts, and she has just always been amazing. She loves applique, but I was just thinking about it, and she has always done it with the machine, and here I am doing it and her edges are incredibly neat. And here am I doing sort of the opposite, but it's a lovely shared journey that we're on. So hi Mum. I'm going to take up my quilts that I brought home and show her next time I go up. So I'm just putting tiny little stitches because I don't know what other colours will run into this at this point. So, and I've learned to be quite patient with myself and realise that some of the bits look like they don't belong on my first stitching and piecing, and then they, as I add to them, I was using squares of pink checks on one piece, but I don't think I will do that very often. The squares sort of don't align with me for my garden. Okay, so let's leave that needle in there. And know that's to be finished. Okay, so there's pretty, isn't it beautiful? Pretty around there. And then what else would we like to do? I was missing having some yellow thread, and I found this wool, and I sort of like to just try it out. And because this has got all these colours, let's just, so all I've done is invisible stitch or tack this onto here. So let's just try out this thread. Just on a running on the side so I can see how it will turn out if I wanted to make some daisies. So I've got 1, 2, 3 yellow stitches so far. I think this is going to go very well with this quilt, this block. 1, 2, 3. 3 pink ones so far. I'm still going. Now it's going more to the purple, which is sort of in keeping with there. So for that reason, we're going to get this far. And then we're going to go over here and into the middle. And let's make our first big embroidery daisy. So 1 yellow petal. I was just remembering then how many people came up when I was embroidering in the airport, including a lovely gentleman who sort of stopped in his track and he said, "That is beautiful." And I said, "Thank you so much." He didn't know what it was, but I just thought, isn't that lovely that people were so kind and talked to me about it. I'm actually going, I don't need to go all the way down through the blanket, but I actually am at this point because it's feeling so nice. Turn it round and then you'll get the idea. I mean, maybe I should call these my slow stitch quilt and then label them blocks. Who knows? And a few have said we should start a hashtag, so now that I'm back, I will start thinking about all those things. All right, let's see what we've done. We've got a brand new block that was already embroidered with this, but see how effective this can be. There's just a row of running stitch and this flower is blending in already. So we'll do all sorts of things around there. Here's a piece of a completely different doily, but just belongs, I think, in that space. So that will be, I'll be working on this tonight, and who knows how far we'll get. So that is block 4. We'll put these down. I'm just going to try and give you an idea of the garden coming together. I'll bring them down like this. Obviously that will have a lot more work. And the most funnest bit will be putting them all together. Okay, so there's just started, well embellished, on its way, and some similar colours, and keeping in the field notes theme. Here is that attached? No. Here is the spring garden with Australian flowers behind it, with its new little yo-yo, and I hope that's made you smile. Wouldn't be Kate without her cute little joyful, funny pincushion. Thank you so much for joining me and spending time with me. For now, I'll say bye, happy stitching, and I'll be back before you know it with another couple of videos now that I'm home in my nest. Sending blessings, enjoy whatever you're doing, and lots of love. Bye.